Welcome, everybody. No, that's perfect. That's a great question. It actually goes along well with my take on what's probably going to happen today in this transmission. Let me see. So, yeah, I mean, my experience, especially for the last month, is that there's an acceleration happening in the energy that's like bombarding the earth and bombarding all of us. And at this point, I tend to be a week to a month ahead of the collective. So if you're not feeling it already, you're going to feel an intensification in the next week to a month, where it's going to be hitting you and your system. And it's different. It's not just an acceleration. It's requiring us to shift into a new paradigm, a new way of being with ourselves, with others, with the collective, with the whole planet. And it requires us to be more and more willing to go beyond what we can comprehend, what we can map out intellectually, what we can imagine. It's like it's going to require us more and more for it to be enjoyable, for us to really do what we're here to do as light workers. We need to surrender needing to understand what's happening before it happens. So that's part of the answer to, will I get to see the benefits? Well, the more you can surrender looking for the benefits, the quicker you actually start living the benefits day by day. And it's going to be more like night and day difference. Like you're going to know, am I surrendering or not? Because not's going to be much more uncomfortable. And surrendering is going to be a lot more comfortable. So there's just this acceleration happening. And it's calling us, especially as light workers, because we are here to go through it a little bit sooner than the rest of the collective. So we can like find our feet in the midst of it and then be there to support others who are less aware, less conscious as they move through it. So we're being called to like help blaze the trail, go forward, go ahead of the larger group, not wait for everyone else to get it before we get it ourselves. So yes, at times it can feel incredibly tedious, and that whole feeling of, oh my God, if I have to do this one more day, let alone one more year, let alone 10 more lives or whatever, those feelings are being pushed up to the surface. They're inside all of us because we've been at this a long, long time. And so there's that part of us that's just like tired and fatigued. And it's like, oh my God, do we really have to keep doing this? And yes, this is when we most have to keep doing it. And what you'll see is that really there is no choice, because not doing it will just become more and more uncomfortable. But what you'll also see is that what doing it means is actually so simple. Like it's just going to become easier and easier to notice whether or not you're surrendering, and to actually surrender will become easier and easier, because there's going to be this feedback loop that just keeps increasing. Like you'll notice, okay, this is one of those surrender points. Can I do it? To do it means just to kind of let go into this, and you let go, and it feels so good that that's feedback to your system. Hey, the next time anything like this comes up, just lean into it. It's like every time you practice it, it will get easier, it will get more enjoyable, it will become more fulfilling. And you'll allow more of that accelerated energy to move through you. And at first, that's scary. It's like, but we don't have time for that anymore. It's like in the past, I would bring in the transmission. I would see where it's starting to bring up fear in people and resistance, and they would have me slow down and clear that. Well, that's part of the paradigm shift. We're not going to slow down anymore because we can't. Like what wants to come through is so huge. And the clearing of it that needs to happen just happens of its own anymore. Like whether you wanted it to or not, the clearing's going to start happening just because like the planet itself wants it to happen. And we're part of this planet. Like we exist so multidimensionally. We exist and participate at all these different layers of being and levels of being. And one of them is as of the earth. And the earth already decided and is already moving into this. So to that extent that we are of the earth, we've already decided and we're already making these changes and accelerating and expecting that even greater acceleration. Because it's kind of like the hockey stick. It just, slowly going up, and then you kind of hit a point where you just start going vertical. We're really close to that. That we're at that turning point. It's just going to get faster and faster. And like I said, the way, see, even to put it into words makes it sound like something you need to consciously get and do. And we're beyond that. That's the whole point. You can't do this mentally. And we're so used to mentally imagining where we think we're going and practicing it on the mental level. And you can't practice this. You can't imagine this. You have to surrender, especially the human aspect of your mind that can't comprehend what this is. And that, I can feel it right now. That brings up a lot of fear. We're so used to relying on the mind to have an illusion of control over our lives and to believe that we're at choice in these kinds of things. Well, there's certain things that we've never had choice over, we never will have choice over, we actually don't even want to have choice over. And this is one of them. This upgrade that's happening, it's like there's a planetary realization happening that includes all of our individual realizations. And if you're here, you're out on the cutting edge of that. You're meant to go through it a little bit sooner than the vast majority of people. So like I said earlier, so that we can like find our legs below us. We can find how to surf these bigger waves that are coming at us. Or how to take a break and get back on shore and take a rest from. Like that's also possible. Anyhow, that seems like all the answer for that particular question right now, but it's already moving into today's transmission. What's our time? Yeah. So let's just go ahead and make that shift into the transmission. That was a great question. So I am Mark. This is By Divine Design. It's wonderful that you're all here to support, to experience and support this process that is accelerating within each of us, within this group, within this planet. So I'm already tracking this transmission, which, as usual, is a transmission of divine love consciousness that's always for your highest good and the highest good of all. And then I put some of that into words to help you track it. But the transmission is here to meditate you. All you need to do is open to it, relax into it, notice whatever you notice as you experience it. Like right here at the beginning, you're being invited to feel into what is truly your highest good in this moment. So it's the heart that can feel that most fully, most directly. But it's also a felt sense that includes like all of your senses, your physical and psychic and divine senses. So you are here right now experiencing this transmission. Just notice the goodness that is here for you right now. And notice how you are noticing that. Anything that feels just a little better, a little more blissful, a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more open. Just lean into that. Notice that, welcome that, and let that lead you into the deeper state that this transmission is already pulling you into. Yeah, and at this point, if there's anything that's uncomfortable or any thoughts, emotions, sensations that like don't fit this flow, just notice, explore that at this point, just having the lightest of intention to let that go, to let it be, to let it like play out however it does. Would you be willing to allow yourself to notice what feels good within you right now? Because this skill is very fundamental to what will allow you to most enjoy the accelerated changes that are already in motion for you and for the planet. So your system's ready to become even better at this. Would you be willing to allow yourself to notice even the smallest nuances and subtleties of good feeling within you, and allow yourself to trust that more than ever before as it leads you into even more good feelings, deeper feelings that feel good. And it's good to know that doing this brings you to a calm, safe place within that is always accessible to you no matter what appears to be going on outside of you. And you get to it by just noticing what feels good, leaning lightly into that, noticing what about that feels good. And if anything distracting comes up, you just acknowledge it, but let it go right on by as you feel for what feels good. Calm, peaceful. No matter how intense any part of your life may seem in any moment, at any particular time, this space is always here within you. Would you be willing to allow yourself to know, to recognize, to experience the truth that you can always find this calm, still place within you? It always exists, it's always here, it's always accessible. Okay, we're pulling you even more deeply into this. There is no loss in going deeper into your highest good, going deeper into this calm stillness. In fact, you become more you here. You become more truly who and what you are here. Just notice any subtle bliss, peace. There's nothing to do here, and yet everything is being done that needs to be done. It's good for you to know that for the rest of this session, it's okay to remain here. Just allow yourself to be here as fully as you find yourself being here. So while remaining here as much as you are able, we're going to shift the focus a bit to your mental body and the way you tend to interact with your mind, your human mind. But you don't need to follow us out to the mental body. You can just remain here, disconnected from that level of your system, or only lightly connected, lightly aware. So these accelerated energies that are manifesting throughout the earth, throughout your consciousness, the earth consciousness, that require you to feel okay with not understanding what's happening, not having a mental map of where we're heading, not allowing moment to moment thoughts to sidetrack you. So we're showing this to you, to your mind, to your human mind especially, energetically. First of all, that this is possible. Would you be willing to allow yourself to notice how little you actually need your human mind? Your mind is just a tool, but you are you with or without that mind. And you can function quite well with or without that mind. It's a tool that's useful at certain times in certain situations, but it's not required ultimately. So your mind, well, this is one of those times where words, words are just pointers. We're greatly simplifying what's going on here. Yeah, just know your system's tracking what I'm referring to as the mind. And that's what's most important right now. So thoughts arise in the mind. And there's all these levels of the human mind, all the way down to the fully unconscious, deepest, darkest, densest levels of the human mind. And you could imagine that what's below that is your soul, and even more so, your infinite divine being. So in this model that we're using, this simplified model, all thoughts stem from your infinite divine being and soul. But as they rise up through the deep unconscious and the medium unconscious and into your subconscious, they're hitting your different blocks and traumas, and they're mutating each time. So sometimes a thought comes all the way up, all the way through, like unadulterated, pure. And that's a higher inspirational thought. That's like a thought directly from divinity. So we have access to that at times, especially when our infinite divine being wants to get something across to us. It will just transcend all that deep unconsciousness between your infinite divine being and your conscious personality. And it will just give you that thought directly. So we could say there are divine thoughts that have not been mutated. But if a thought's rising up through your system, hits those blocks, it can become like a fear-based thought. And that's like what gives rise to looping thoughts and trying to figure things out and projecting past memories into the future, believing that this bad thing's going to happen, et cetera, et cetera. And all that's noise in the machine. So we've been working at clearing as many blocks as we can, but right now we're working on clearing that mechanism that even if a thought hits a blockage, and gets kind of mutated from its pure original thought, you don't need to be hypnotized by that anymore. You don't need to get caught up into that. You can experience, well, you can know as that thought's arising, oh, that's a fear-based thought. That actually has no good information for me at this point. Like it's been so mutated that the original information, it's just not worth the time to try to translate it when it's that encrusted with fear. So we're showing you, we're giving you more permission than ever before to just let those thoughts go. They'll just go right by. You don't need to interact with them. You don't need to give them strength through your attention. You don't need to let them pull you away from this calm, deep, peaceful center that we're renewing your awareness of right now. You as pure being, you that transcends all thought, that doesn't require any thought, okay, we're going to pull in where this is all heading. So in a way, we're taking you a bit into the future where you truly already got this. You're already living where you don't require like a mental map before you'll let yourself go somewhere. Because you trust that wherever you're being taken is actually good for you, is actually a better place than where you are. And you no longer let these mutated thoughts feed your fears that are all just illusions based on past traumas or memories. So even right now, there's a sense, what is going on here? I can't track this. I can't follow this with my mind. And just notice how perfect that is. That's exactly what you should be experiencing. That you don't understand this, and then that you don't need to understand this. It's coming in, it's lifting you, it's showing you even more of your higher good. What feels good is to let go of the mind in this way. You will still have higher thoughts that come in, divine thoughts, thoughts that are aligned with your highest good, and therefore thinking those thoughts feel good. We're helping you notice the thoughts that don't feel good because they're fear-based. They've been mutated from their original form and they're not useful. And you can let them go. You can just let them pass by. It's kind of like if you think of yourself as down at the bottom of a deep ocean, and each thought is like a bubble. And that bubble wants to rise to the surface, and it kind of grows, as the pressure changes, it grows in size. Sometimes it breaks up into smaller bubbles. But there's a natural tendency for it to rise all the way to the surface and break through and be released. And that's kind of the way our thoughts work. If we don't engage with them, they'll just rise all the way to the surface and be done with. And if they are mutated thoughts, that's the best way to handle them. And how do you know they're mutated? They don't feel good. They create anxiety, pressure, fear. They're the Chicken Little trying to convince you the world is falling apart. It doesn't feel good. And as you notice that, you just let it go by. Nothing more to do with it. And then there's also like neutral thoughts. That's where the thoughts are just being used as a tool. That's like, what do I want to have for lunch today? This. Like you just notice what you notice and you name it. That's like a neutral thought. It doesn't have a necessarily like a good feeling attached to it or a fearful based feeling attached to it. It's just there. It's helping you to navigate your everyday world. It comes up, it's like a label that helps you like be the human you are in that moment. And then when you're done with that label, it doesn't stick around. It also continues to just dissipate and it's gone. So it's not pulling you off base. It's not pulling you away from your highest good. And then there's divine thoughts that get through more pure or completely pure, that are direct downloads of your highest good. And sometimes when you receive those, it will stimulate, it will trigger some fear-based thoughts. So what we're helping your system see right now is like when both kinds of thoughts are present, you can still navigate this. You can let the fear-based or mutated thoughts go by while receiving the inspiration of the divine thoughts. Okay, we've translated a lot of that into words for your conscious personality, but we're going to go beyond that right now and just do it purely as energy. So notice what you notice as your own infinite divine being begins to download some very pure thoughts into your system. So just notice what you notice. Explore this. Feel for the good feeling. If you notice any fears or anything distressing, do your best to just let it go right on by. So generally, this download is coming in as pure energy for you and your system, but it might include specific messages that you receive consciously as well. So just notice that. So generally, this is quite new for you and your system to go this far into trusting primarily your divine being and much less so your mental. So we're expanding out several levels which will just help you to feel more comfortable with the level that we just awakened for you at this time. Basically, we're helping you to remember more and more of who and what you truly are as an infinite divine being with a divine mind. Because this is how you naturally operate all the time in your divinity. So we're helping it to awaken within your humanity, within your human mind, in your human system, as it's entrained by your divine being. You may notice that your thinking just completely stops at times, and that feels the best. That feels really good. Again, would you be willing to allow yourself to notice how little thinking is actually required? And let yourself fall into the deep, peaceful goodness at the center of your being, which is where you naturally go when you're not distracted by thoughts. So you're centered in the core of your being. You're expanded out into your infinite divine being. And it's like the human aspects of yourself that are between those are being entrained to function more and more the way you naturally do as a divine being. And what you are experiencing right now is the new paradigm. This is healing all parts of you. Each and every layer and level of your energy system, each and every layer and level of your consciousness is naturally being healed in the best way possible by sitting here in this. Now, would you be willing to allow yourself to be taken even farther beyond your mind, outside of your thinking, into your true being? And let's amplify and deepen this even more by just lightly sharing it with the whole earth, with all of humanity. You already know how to do that. Just continue to feel into what feels good as you hold the intention to share. This is such a wonderful, beautiful energy we're in. It wants to overflow in every direction. Take a few moments to allow it to overflow into various parts of your life, various relationships or issues or projects, wherever you would like to focus it. We're going to just continue to hold this space with each other, for each other, as you direct it, however you find yourself doing so. Okay. Allow that to come to a natural resolution. Notice what you notice as we pull you more back into your center of being, your ground of being. You might bring some awareness to your physical body. In your physical location. the ground, the earth below you. It's good for you to know you can easily and effortlessly reconfigure your consciousness to be the best it can be for you here and now and onwards. Notice what you notice. Who are you now? See if you can remember who you were before we started and compare that to what you are experiencing now. And it's good for you to know it only gets better and better. This session is complete. Infinite blessings.